In South Africa, Johannesburg had a way of bringing people together without warning. Between the noise of taxi horns, long roads that stretched toward the coast, and days softened by the sun, moments slipped by unnoticed until they mattered. This story began like that. No grand beginning. Just two people meeting at the right time, even if they didn't yet understand why. Years ago, when Daniel was still learning who he wanted to be, he met Aisha on an ordinary afternoon that became extraordinary simply because she smiled at him. They sat outside a small cafe, the city humming around them, Table Mountain distant but constant. They talked for hours about dreams, music, the kind of future that felt distant but possible. What began lightly grew deep, steady, and real. They loved each other without caution. Too quickly, perhaps. Life moved faster than they expected, and soon they found themselves preparing for something neither had planned, but both chose to embrace: a child. When their baby girl was born, she lived only 2 days. Those 48 hours changed them forever. They did not speak much afterward. Grief made words heavy. Before they said goodbye to their daughter, in a quiet hospital room overlooking the city, they made a promise fragile, born of love and loss, that no matter what happened, they would never leave each other. It was not dramatic, just two broken people holding on to the only thing that felt solid. For a while, that promise kept them standing. But life, unkind and complicated, continued. When Daniel decided it was time to introduce Aisha to his parents, he believed honesty would be enough. He underestimated fear, tradition, and the quiet power of superstition. Whispers began before Aisha ever entered their home. An aunt mentioned omens. A neighbor spoke about signs. Someone said the baby's death was not natural. That loss like that did not happen without a reason. Slowly, dangerously, the idea took root that Aisha carried something dark, that she was the cause, that she was a witch. Daniel was stunned. He argued. He demanded logic. He begged them to see sense. But grief mixed with old beliefs can harden into something unmovable. His parents insisted they were protecting him, from her, from danger they could not name but fully believed in. They did not see a grieving mother. They saw a story shaped by fear. Daniel stood between two worlds and failed to bridge them. The arguments grew. The silence stretched. Eventually, love still present but exhausted stepped aside. They separated, not because they stopped loving each other, but because love alone could not fight superstition wrapped in certainty. 3 years passed. Daniel moved through life as if something essential had been misplaced. He dated, smiled, worked, succeeded, but nothing stayed. The city kept moving. The ocean kept crashing against the shore, yet he felt stuck. Aisha, too, tried to begin again, yet every new path felt unfinished. They had both grown, but around the same wound. When Aisha reached out again, it was not with anger or longing, but honesty. She suggested returning to the place where they had said goodbye to their child, not to reopen the pain, but to release the promise that had quietly tied them to the past. Daniel couldn't agree, not because of superstition, but because, in his heart, the promise still meant hope. That night, he finally did something he should have done years earlier. He spoke to his parents not to ask for permission, but to tell the truth. He told them about the woman who had stood beside him when he was weakest, about the grief they had survived, about how walking away had not brought peace, only distance from himself. He did not accuse them. He did not beg. He simply let them see the cost of their refusal. For the first time, his parents listened without interrupting. His mother cried quietly. His father said nothing for a long while. Days later, his father called him. "We were trying to protect you," he said, voice unsteady. "But we may have protected you from the wrong thing." It was not an apology, but it was an opening. Daniel asked if they would meet Aisha not as a past mistake, not as a story already judged, but as a person. After a long pause, they agreed. The meeting was awkward, polite, fragile. Aisha did not defend herself. She did not argue against rumors or repeat the pain of false accusations. She spoke about her work, her growth, the woman she had become. She spoke calmly, with dignity that left no room for fear. When Daniel's mother finally asked, voice trembling, about the baby, about what really happened, Aisha answered simply. "She died," she said. "And I loved her. No explanations. No anger. Just truth." That was the moment something shifted. For the first time, Daniel's parents saw the cruelty of what they had believed. Grief, once hidden behind superstition, became human. Fear softened into shame, then into understanding. Walls did not fall instantly, but cracks appeared and light slipped through. Months passed. Slowly, intentionally, Daniel and Aisha rebuilt, not the relationship they had lost, but a stronger one shaped by patience and choice. This time, love was not rushed. It was steady. A decision made daily. One afternoon, they visited the place where they had once stood in sorrow, the wind moving gently through the trees. They did not undo any promise. Instead, they thanked their daughter for the love she brought, for the way she taught them how deeply they could feel, and for leading them back to each other with clearer hearts. When Daniel eventually brought Aisha home, not as a secret, not as a conflict, but as his partner, his parents welcomed her. Not perfectly, but sincerely. And in that imperfect, human acceptance, the future finally opened. Some love stories are born in joy. Others are forged in loss and still find their way to light.